We see a lot of talk about how talk therapy doesn't work. I've been a proponent of this message as well, having been a talk therapist for 20 years. The thing is, talk therapy actually does work. And here's how it works. We recreate relationships in our talk therapy. Our therapist that we work with helps us recreate a relationship together. Now, you may see your therapist as an authority figure, somebody that you just come and tell all of your problems to. That kind of therapy doesn't necessarily work, right? If the therapist is just listening to your problems and providing feedback. What does work is when your therapist pushes and pulls to provide you feedback, but also to give you other perspectives, maybe some questions. And one of the most important things that works in therapy that we often forget about is when there's rupture. We use this term a lot, repair and rupture. We talk about this a lot as therapists. Rupture and repair is how talk therapy works. We have relationships with people, all kinds of people, right? And in talk therapy, we have the opportunity to mimic those relationships. It may not feel like that all the time. Looking at like transference or countertransference, which basically means that you're transferring an experience onto your therapist. For example, if you see your therapist as an authority figure, you might transfer feelings that you had towards mothers, towards teachers, towards any sort of authority figure onto your therapist, right? So therefore, your therapist can represent an authority figure just kind of in general. Similarly, you are having these opportunities in that relationship to repair and have ruptures, because that's what's going to happen is your therapist says something that you don't agree with, which it happens all the time, and it should. And I want to remind you that it should. Your therapist should be saying things that you don't necessarily agree with. And guess what? Your journey as a client is to push back. Ask questions like, why did you say that to me? Let your therapist know how it made you feel. This gives you to both an opportunity to repair the relationship. Ruptures happen in therapy, and that is how talk therapy works.